Welcome to Cash Chats with me, Andy Webb from becleverwithyourcash.com. This is the podcast to help you make the most of your money. In episode 363, I am celebrating 10 years of Be Clever With Your Cash with my top 10 money hacks, covering everything from bank accounts and credit cards through to getting a student card when you're not a student, to saving on streaming, all sorts of things, the ways that I love, the little tricks and hacks to save some money. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, there isn't a separate video, so you can click the link in the corner to go and watch this now, or at the end of this episode, because I've all still got listeners' question and deals of the week, you'll be able to click through after that. But let's waste no time and get into the rest of the show. This is episode 363 of Cash Chats. So this week's listeners' question comes from our Facebook group. If you've not already joined us, please do head over. It's becleverwithyourcash.com/community. That's the short URL that will take you there. And great place to ask your question. There are 8,600 of us there now, I think. Loads of you guys sharing your questions and also your answers, which is a great place. This one is an anonymous question that came through, but I thought it was a good one to share. Anyone tried to use a 0% balance transfer credit card to pay a portion or all of a bank loan or a mortgage? Now, this is an interesting one because you cannot use a balance transfer credit card for anything other than transferring a balance from a credit card. You could not use it for any other kind of debt. So from that point of view, it is not going to help you on those other things. But there are a couple of other options you could use if you want to put money towards other debts in whatever they are. And this first one is a money transfer credit card. And again, a 0% one is the ideal one here, but there might be some other options out there which offer a lower APR, a lower rate of interest. They work in exactly the same way, but rather than moving the money from credit card to credit card, they move the money from the new account credit card that you open, whatever they give you as a credit limit, they move that into your bank account. Once it is in your bank account, you can use it as you wish. So that could be towards clearing an overdraft. It could be towards going towards your mortgage. It could be towards a loan. It could be to go into savings. All number of options you've got there. Now, this isn't free. Although you've got a 0% period, there is going to be a transfer fee involved. So again, that probably wipes out using it for savings. Not really a realistic thing there. And it might not even be worth doing it in terms of mortgages, depending on what your mortgage rate is. But if you do have a high debt, then it could be a good way of doing that. You will, of course, have to make sure you do make the minimum repayment at least on that money transfer credit card every single month in order to avoid any penalties for that 0% period to go or other charges coming in. And ideally, you want to put as much as you possibly can towards clearing it. It's still a debt. Whatever debt you're moving from, it's still a debt. It's just potentially at 0%. The other option you could look at, and this is, again, could work, is a 0% overdraft. Now, I did a whole video and article on this at the start of the year. Look at the best bank accounts which offer 0%. Overdrafts, there aren't that many of them, and they're also not that big. So it's probably not going to work in lots of ways, but you could consider it. Could be a way of getting that debt reduced, again, to 0% for a period. The problem you've got is when that 0% period ends on an overdraft, they are very, very, very expensive. You're looking at 40%. So if you don't think that debt's going to be cleared in that time, and most you're probably betting that is a Nationwide Flex Direct 0% overdraft for a year, then it's going to get very expensive. So probably one not to be looking at. But yeah, certainly, point of the question was, can you use a 0% balance transfer credit card for other debts? No, you can't. Now, as I said, Facebook group is a great place to ask your questions, but I am going to be doing a Ask Andy Live this coming Thursday evening at 7 p.m. So if you want to join us, that will be on the YouTube channel and it'll be on the Instagram channel at Be Clever With Your Cash on both those platforms. Starts at 7 o'clock for half an hour. The earlier you're there, the better chance you've got of me answering your question. But please do join us, and it'd be great to see you with us. Now let's look at the deals of the week. And I shared a bonus episode on the podcast at the end of last week and an extra couple of videos on the YouTube channel for two new bank switching deals that launched from NatWest and from Lloyds Bank. So I'm not going to go over those again, but I am going to sort of mention briefly that the NatWest deal is also on offer from Ulster Bank and RBS Bank. Now, the terms and conditions are pretty much exactly the same. Ulster has slightly different versions of which current accounts you need to have because they offer it slightly differently. But broadly speaking, you can choose any one of those three. The rules do say, though, you cannot get the money from more than one. If you've had the money from any of those banks since the 1st of January 2020, you will not be able to get them from the other banks. Now, I know that's similar to the rules that were running last year, and a number of you did the triple crown, as we called it, when you got £200 from each of those banks. Now, I think it's unlikely they're going to let that happen again because so many people did it last year just for the cash. But just being clear there, because a number of questions have come up saying, oh, can I get RBS and Ulster as well as NatWest? Officially, you cannot. We won't obviously know for a while if anyone has been able to do this because these offers have only just launched. But it's something to be thinking about, that's for sure. Now, there is a last chance to get a boosted welcome offer on the British Airways American Express Premium Plus credit card. This offer ends on the 20th, and you have to get it via the British Airways Executive Club loyalty scheme. You cannot get it directly from the American Express website. 50,000 Avios points, which can be, once you take into account the annual fee that comes with that card as well, you could be sort of still well worth considering. I did cover this in more detail recently, so check out that episode where I look at credit card updates for February credit card offers for more information on that, or read the whole article over at becleverwithyourcash.com. Now, really popular with you is when the supermarkets are offering 25% off 6 or more bottles of wine, and Asda has brought the deal back until the 25th of February, so you can take advantage of that this week. Always works best when you stack this, so there's already a discounted bottle of wine, and then you use that within the 6 to get another 25% off that. And when one supermarket does it, others often follow, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see similar deals this week or next week from the others. We'll obviously let you know on the newsletter every Thursday, becleveryourcash.com/newsletter if you don't already get that, and also on our socials. So keep an eye out for that if you don't shop at Asda, but good opportunity to stock up on your vino now. And there's also a start, and who knows how long this will continue, of a battle on Easter eggs. Morrison's, if you have the Morrison's More card, is selling smaller eggs for about 75p, which represents actually a decent saving. So it could be a good time to stock up on them now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see other supermarkets do similar offers in the coming weeks. That is it for this week. There'll be more ways to celebrate 10 years of Be Clever Your Cash, I'm sure. So keep an eye out for that. Until then, my name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for listening. Cheers.